Close this, close this, close this, close this, close this, close this. Oh, oh, look at Miss Shoot is gonna watch with us. Shh, I'm gonna present the okay, the path of totality. Okay, let's see where Miss Shuta's group went. Which, oh, right here. Okay. What's that? Why does it say Miss Shuta's? Because her class is joining us. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Okay. Miss Shuta, can you hear us? Did I let her in yet? Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, can you see the solar eclipse screen up?
No.
No or
It's
yes?
white. It's white.
Didn't you see this? Is it show a solar eclipse? Oh, wait, hold on a minute. It says screen sharing is paused. Why is it paused? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, hold on. Where's resume share? Okay, yeah, I'm screen sharing. Let me stop share and try it again. Thanks for being patient. It's funny because now that we don't use it a lot, it's like, oh.
I know.
Okay. Hi, kindergarten. There it is. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Can you see it now, Miss Shuta?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So you guys need to be at your best. My class. Okay. So welcome, kindergarten, and anybody else that decided to join us this morning. So we want to just tell you a little bit about the solar eclipse that's coming on Monday. We do have a student coming down later to share their presentation as well with you, but we want to tell you why you're going to be out Monday and the cool things that you might see. Okay. And just kind of give you some facts and some things to keep in mind as you're watching it, some safety tips. But I think you'll really enjoy this because we want you to understand what's happening. So one of the things I want to share is why you'll never ever see an eclipse like this again. Okay.
Solar eclipses happen all the time, once every 18 months or so on average. In theory, you could see dozens of them in your lifetime, but you won't. The one coming up on April 8th may very well be the only one you will ever experience, if you're lucky. And I'm going to explain why.
This is an experience beyond all experiences. You can't prepare yourself properly for what this is like.
I've been told to see a total solar eclipse is a defining moment in one's life. The night sky gives way to a creeping darkness. The ambient light changes. The air gets colder and the moon slow glides into place. These brilliant beads of light shimmer and disappear one by one until there's nothing left but that dancing glow of the sun's corona, its atmosphere, giving this halo to the moon.
This spiky streamers and long brushes and these shapes that you can't even describe come shooting off the surface of the sun.
But the sun's rays completely blocked.
You cannot prepare yourself for how intensely cosmic it is to stand in the shadow of the moon and observe the corona. So that lead up, those last 15, 20 minutes leading up to the shadow of the moon arriving on top of your head and transforming your environment, it is a peak experience. It was a peak experience in my life.
Mind you, this is the middle of the day, so.
There are entire rituals devoted to solar eclipses, and understanding what makes a total eclipse rise above the rest is a big part of this magic. Okay, so we have our sun, we have our moon, and no Earth, because you're the Earth, okay? Your camera angle that you're looking through right now represents you looking out into the sky, looking at space, and looking at the sun. So a total solar eclipse is when the moon, which orbits the Earth, orbits you about once every month, when the moon happens to line up exactly with the sun, which, considering the two things aren't anywhere near the same size, is sort of amazing. But your camera angle helps us explain why. In reality, the sun is about 400 times bigger than our moon, but by sheer dumb cosmic light, it's also about 400 times farther away. So in our sky, they can appear to be the same size. I mean, that's the whole joke with that old kids in the hall head crushing scheme. I hit you and I crush you. But then why don't we have total eclipses every month if that's how often the moon comes between us and the sun? Well, because the moon's orbit is not always perfectly aligned with the Earth and the sun all the time at the same time. It's a bit angled. So imagine in some random month, the moon could be orbiting the Earth in its off-angle axis, and when it comes directly between us and the sun, it might actually be here. So it's not actually blocking the sun at all. Or maybe we only get a partial eclipse, which is when the moon passes over the sun, but never quite completely covers it up. Or sometimes, because the orbit is an oval, it's not a perfect circle, meaning sometimes the moon is farther away from us than normal. It actually appears smaller in the sky than the sun. We call that an annular eclipse, or maybe you've heard of the ring of fire. But the moon casts a shadow on the Earth in such a precise way so that the sun and the moon are exactly the same size in the sky, and they overlap exactly one on top of the other. That only happens once every 1 or 2 years. And for you and me specifically, depending on where you live, April 8th might be even more special than that. In reality, the moon's shadow on Earth will be like the head of a pin at any given moment. So while we have very precise knowledge of exactly where that pinpoint will be at any given hour on April 8th, it's so small and it's moving that the odds of you ever having been in that sweet spot before are pretty slim. Because sometimes that total eclipse is over the ocean, or the southern tip of Africa, or slicing through Japan. For a city in what's called this path of totality, to ever find itself in that shadow cone again, on average, you have to wait about 375 years.
Mostly we have to go all the way around the world and back to see these things. This is a gift coming to us.
So to be in that 180-kilometer wide moving pinpoint, as the moon's shadow cuts a swath through southern Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes, the closer you are to that circle's center, the longer of a total eclipse you'll get to experience. Maybe as many as a few minutes if you're in the right place at the right time, and if you have clear skies. That's the real wild part, and why the most dedicated eclipse chasers out there are all heading to Mexico.
So I've chosen massive land in Mexico. It's way down on the Pacific coast of Mexico, looking out into the Pacific Ocean. And when you look at the whole path of totality this time, it has the greatest chance of clear skies. And as you move up into the United States and then across Canada, the chance of full clouds increases as you go along. So I'm choosing Mexico simply because we have a very high likelihood of seeing them.
I should be clear, if you're not in this very specific shadowy band, that means you will not see a total eclipse. You will see a partial eclipse. That's for almost all of North America. But know this, the chance to see a total eclipse anywhere is very much a limited time offer. The moon is actually constantly getting farther away from us by a few centimeters every year. Its orbit gets wider and wider. So In about 1 billion years, there will be no more total eclipses for anybody on Earth.
Okay, so what is a solar eclipse? A solar eclipse happens when the moon lines up the earth and the sun as the earth revolves around the sun. So if you think of your fist as the sun and you take your pointer finger and the earth is moving around the sun, okay, revolving means that long voyage around the sun. All of a sudden, the moon jumps in there and blocks the light from the sun that's going to reach the earth. So one of the things that they have, Mentor, where we all live, is going to be in the complete path of totality during the solar eclipse. What that means is the sun's going to be completely blocked by the moon, making it seem like it's nighttime. So what I'm going to show you now is how the shadow is going to move across, and you'll see Mexico show up, and I'll probably speed it up just a little bit. But this is what's going to happen. That is actually a giant shadow caused by the moon blocking the sun. So just like if you stand in the sunlight and you look down, you're going to see your own shadow. This is the shadow of the moon. So as you keep going, you're noticing this is still in Mexico. Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little more. As we come over here and we're looking at the cities, okay? Here comes Dallas, Texas. So Mexico into Texas is where it's entering into the United States. Okay, so it's going to move straight across in that path. And that's what you're seeing. You're just seeing the shadow moving across. Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little more. Okay, now we're in Indiana. And we're getting closer, and you're going to start to see Cleveland up here. And pretty soon, Mentor is going to pop up. And you're going to see Mentor. If you keep your eyes up here, okay, Mentor is right here. I'm going to pause it. So here's Mentor, Ohio, where we live. And if you notice, we're directly in the middle of this giant shadow. So it will become nighttime, or it'll seem like it's nighttime. Okay, and this is going to happen around 3:14 p.m. So 3:14 in the afternoon. And then it's going to continue. And even though this looks like it's moving quickly in this video, okay, this is going to happen over several hours. But when we get to Mentor, it's going to start to the shadow's going to start to fall, and it's slowly going to look like it's becoming nighttime. And then at 3:15, 3:14, for 3 to 4 minutes, it's going to be completely dark. Okay, so one of the things we wanted to tell you about is animals can sense when a solar eclipse is happening. Researchers found that when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, cicadas stop singing, bees get restless, and squirrels run around nonstop during the eclipse and for about 2 hours after the eclipse. So one of the things you can look at is you can look out your window and see, how are the animals happening before, or how are they acting before this happens, while it's happening, or after. And it doesn't mean you have to go outside to do this. You can look right in your house, especially if you have animals like a hamster that becomes pretty active at night, right? You might notice that if it senses it's nighttime, like if your hamster's by the window, it might wake up and start moving really quickly. Your dog. You can look at your cat. Your squirrel, and squirrels are pretty common here in Mentor, might be the easiest thing that you notice happening. So that's one thing you can do during the eclipse and notice and see if they're correct. The other thing you can do, and I will send this to the teachers, and my class has kind of looked at this, is, and it won't be open yet, but the different zoos, some of the places have live webcams. I'm going to take you to Avon Lake, which is also in the path of totality, and they have an eagle that they watch as long as our eagle cam is going to come up, okay? And she is sitting, we believe it's a she is sitting because the male will also sit on the eggs. She is sitting on her eggs. So if you tune into this while the eclipse is happening, what you should see is it's going to start to get darker. Okay. And as it gets darker, we don't know if her behavior will change. So it's kind of cool to go into this and look at some of these animal cams. What is it, Joe?
I'm gonna just say this. What if like the eggs just randomly just start hatching early, like when the eclipse happened?
So here's the thing. And so if you didn't hear Joe's question, he said, what if the eggs started hatching early? Now, most eggs have a cycle, how many days they have to be incubated. So I don't think that's going to happen. What may happen is the mom might say, oh, it's nighttime. I can go out hunting and I might get off the nest and I might not return for a few minutes, or it's nighttime. It's time to sleep. So their behavior, like right now, she's kind of looking around, it's windy, but it may change. She might become more vocal. You might hear her, and I'm not sure if this one has sound on it. I know that when we were watching the others, they do. But this is one animal cam that you can tune into. The other one that my kids seem to like was it the Toledo one, guys, that had the polar bears? Yeah, this comes on at 10 o'clock and maybe your teachers can go back to this, but this is, and it's probably not up yet. This is the polar bear exhibit and it is outside. And so at 10 o'clock, this will come on and you'll actually see the polar bears. We did this yesterday and you'll see how they're acting and what they're doing. And I told my class, try this at home around 3. And what are they doing today around 3? And then maybe tomorrow over the weekend. Okay, what are they doing around 3? So you have something to compare it to. So I will send those webcams to the teachers. Yes, Gabby.
It's like over like there's like a harbor.
Well, we have the Lake Erie Bluffs. So just to give kindergarten an idea, see where these stars are. This is the Toledo Zoo. This is the Eagle Cam. Over here, if you've been to the Lake Metro Parks, that's actually where the little piglets are viewed outside, correct? Everly found that one. And then Lake Erie Bluffs. Okay, and I showed this. This is live video from there. This is another thing. Right now, this is what our day looks like outside. During the eclipse, it may not look like that. So these are some of the things you can check out at home on your iPad. And I will share this with your teachers so that you have it. Excuse me. They have iPads. We have Chromebooks. Okay.
That is so nice. Thank you so much. I love that.
You're welcome. And they would love the animal cams. One of the
Yeah, they
last
love 'em.
things before they get going is safety first. Now, many kids have been given solar eclipse glasses. You are not to wear sunglasses outside. They will not protect your eyes. And you should never, 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 ever look directly at the sun. There is a time period when it is considered safe during the eclipse, but as I told all my students, safety first. Keep your glasses on. You can experience it that way. You can even experience it inside by looking outside. So it's not something that you should be afraid of, but it is going to be different. It's going to be a different part of your day. Okay. Now, one of the things we talked about in my class is, what if it's cloudy and there's no sun? So kindergarten, do you think the eclipse will happen if it's cloudy and there's no sun? What do they think, Miss Shuda?
What do you think? Will it still happen?
Is it going to happen if there's no sun?
Well, some of us think yes and some think no.
Okay. So who's one of the students that think yes?
Mariana thinks yes.
Okay, Mariana, why do you think yes, it's going to still happen even if it's cloudy?
Because because like because
I always like hearing their answers because this is new to them.
still happen.
Because like it's still gonna happen, she said. Like the
Okay.
sun is still gonna be there.
The sun's going to be there, but we might not what? Guys, we might not see it. Okay. So this is going to show you what happens if it's cloudy.
April 8th, if it's so cloudy, you really can't see the sun. about Bethany Thomas with Cleveland Cleveland Natural History
You
about
know what?
clouds.
Even if it's cloudy, it will still happen.
So if we do have cloud cover, we'll still be able to experience that twilight, that instantaneous darkness once we get to totality. And we'll also be able to see how animals in our environment react as well. So even if the sky is not clear, we'll still be able to enjoy the eclipse.
All right,
Nice.
we've got to talk about it. What happens here if you can't see it? We know our guy, Anthony Copeland, is really on the case. He's been looking at maps and punching numbers. I mean, at one point I saw him, I don't know why, he was punching numbers into a calculator. He was coming out of the calculator.
Can you guys read that sentence? It says, what if it's cloudy?
Yeah. We're getting a better idea of whether or not it's gonna be clear or not.
Yeah, I'm thinking, just a bit more optimistic. I mean, clouds are gonna be in the area, but I'm thinking we're gonna get a little bit more rain in the morning, but things are gonna be, cleared out by the afternoon.
Ooh, good.
What we're thinking right now, so let's get.
Okay. So that just gives you an idea. So what was the student's name, Miss Shuda?
Mariana?
Nice job, Mariana. You were correct. It's still going to happen. You're going to still see it get dark, but yeah, the sun's still there. Even though the clouds are kind of hiding it, it's still there. Why is this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it was working. Well, no, that should be, okay. Now, I will send this to you, Miss Shuda. There's a couple books in here that you can share later with your students. A Few Beautiful Minutes is one of them. But I wanted to just show them, okay, during this time. So this is the showtime. Think of it as a big old movie outside, right? And around 2 o'clock is when it's going to start to happen. Okay. And it says Cleveland, but when I searched Menor as well, Menor lists at the same time. So the totality, that means when it gets dark, completely dark, is going to begin around 3:13 p.m. Okay. When it's completely dark out will be 3:15 and it'll end at 3:17. So about 4 minutes, it's going to get really dark and then completely dark. And then it's going to start to lightening up. So then at 4:29 p.m. around 4:30, it's going to start to return back to normal. So it's going to be ending and going back to what we know it as. Now, weather. The last thing we wanted to share too is people in the path of the total eclipse can expect twilight-like darkness, and the wind usually picks up and the temperature drops. The estimated it drops 10 degrees. And what did we learn about taking the temperature during this time? Callie? Right. Don't use a cell phone or an app. Does anybody remember, Caleb?
Yeah, we're supposed to, put a thermometer in the eclipse,
In the shade.
not in direct sunlight.
Right. Or out where it can be seen. So the way to truly measure is actually using a real thermometer. And I put it on here. This is a globe project by the University of Toledo. They want people to submit their temperatures, which is on there. I know, Ms. Shuda, you're a big science person, so you can go check it out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know why this is here again. Did I have that twice? I must have. Okay. And in closing, why it's a big deal? This is a very rare opportunity. And only states, which Ohio happens to be one of the states in the path of totality, will experience this phenomenon. The next one that will occur in the same place, so where you're at today, will be in another 375 years.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Now,
Wow.
kindergarten, do you have any questions?
I will be.
Oh, do you guys have any questions?
No.
Well, let's give her a round of applause. That was a great presentation.
Thank you,
wait.
kindergarten. Oh, we have
Oh,
a
wait, hold
question.
on. Charlotte has a question. What's your question? Charlotte,
Why does that happen?
do you know why that happens, Mrs. Nowak?
Why the eclipse happens? where they all line up. Miss Shuda too, also, there's another story and this PBS
good.
special is excellent.
Okay, good. Good.
So I'm trying to
just
think where they
happens.
showed it.
Yeah, that guy, the guy on the
The
video
first,
showed
this
us.
one, yeah.
Yeah, he showed us how
Once,
it's just
once every 375 years. So the guy on the video, let me see if I can find, here it is.
sit down.
Okay. So Charlotte, do you remember seeing this part of the video where the man showed us, and I'm going to pause it. Okay. Where he showed us
No.
the three different things. He showed us the big sun, our star, the sun. He showed us the moon and he showed us the earth. And he talked about when they're traveling out in space, depending when it happens, it has to happen exactly all at the same time, where this moon, even though it's little, it's going to block the sunlight getting to the earth. Okay, so he showed us that. He showed us the, was it right after that, guys? The diagram or no, the one that he showed with the lights. I know, that was your favorite part.
That's awesome.
So thank you, Charlotte, for that question. But we
Yes,
will
thank
let
you.
you, kindergarten, get back to work. There will be a student of mine coming down and sharing what they learned.
Oh,
And so
good.
Miss Shuda, they will email you their presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Have a great
Everybody,
day, fourth grade.
we'll have fourth grade. Well, mine's blurry. I blurred out my.
Bye.
All right.
No, everyone's, no, they're gone. They're
Okay.
gone, guys.